This video is going to be brought to you by Savet AF. Longtime viewers of the channel know that I've received a few items from Savet AF in the past, from a Madara statue to a Pain statue to an Itachi one, and so today Savet has sent over their new Sage Mode Naruto statue, which I have to say I am extremely impressed with. On top of the gorgeous box that it comes in, the statue is super easy to put together, and it comes with the fine quality that I've come to expect from Savet AF's craftsmanship. From the extremely detailed designs to the small customization available by placing either a wind release Rasen Shuriken into the hand of Sage Mode Naruto or a normal wind release Rasengan in the same hand. You can also place a Fuma Shuriken and a Kunai into the skull of Boss Toad Gamabunta, and you also have Manpa Toad on the statue as well as extra support characters. I've bought a ton of anime statues in the past, and I can say with certainty that Savet AF delivers on the high quality for several anime series, so not just Naruto, and they do so at a much more affordable price than some of the other companies that I bought from in the past. Use my link down in the description box to get your statue, either for yourself or for a friend or a loved one who enjoys anime, much like I've done in the past, like I did with this one. Best of all, Savet AF is giving you guys a discount if you use my link down in the description box and use my promo code Naruto5USD. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion following the release of Chapter 13 the manga, and it's time to discuss the brand new anime that has emerged as a part of Jura's ever-growing army of awakened Shinju. Given how hot button of a topic this is, I wanted to weigh in right away and give my thoughts, which, as you can tell from the title and the thumbnail, I am in strong disagreement with the consensus that is growing in the fandom, which is why in today's newest Naruto Explain video, we're going to be looking at the creation of the new Shinju, the impact on the story, who this Shinju likely is in my opinion, and why I disagree with the whole hot take that I've been seeing in the comment section that this is Naruto Uzumaki reborn. As we all know, the awakened Shinju are born through a pretty simple process that goes back to what Boruto told us in Chapter 6 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex manga, as well as Chapter 2 and Chapter 12. When Code decided to break apart the Ten Tails and apply his chakra by both using the shinjutsu that he awakened from Shibai cells, which are known as the claw marks, as well as the chakra from the Karma seal, he changed the nature of the Ten Tails itself. They were no longer brain-dead monsters who couldn't think for themselves and who only acted in response to their instincts. They were now, and they still are, creatures who have developed their own free will. Their souls, they have manifested, and they have their own desires, and they are led by Jura, the one that Kashin Koji stated is the most dangerous of them all and the one who will kill Boruto. It's why Boruto told Code, this is not the Ten Tails as you know it. Even if you were able to previously control them, you are going to lose control of them soon, and you need to destroy them while you still can. During that conversation with Class Rep and Sarada, he states that Code's chakra is affecting the claw grimes, and it's because even though he's not Otsutsuki, his karma is still from the clan, and it is a power that still belongs to the clan itself, which is why it has resonated in the way that it has with the Ten Tails and caused them to change their nature to evolve, which lines up with the basic premise of evolution itself. New factors are introduced into an environment that drastically change things, and it forces evolution, albeit in most circumstances this evolution happens over time. But since this is fiction, the changes, they tend to happen in a rapid manner because fiction requires you to practice the art of suspension of disbelief. The moment you're no longer able to do that, you've outgrown fiction. In Chapter 12, Boruto tells us that in order for a Shinju to become awakened, those claw grimes that Code had created, those creatures that you hear me all the time refer to as being Ten Tails soldiers as a part of a Ten Tails army, they in turn seek out chakra, and those who they bite are turned into trees, visibly trapped inside of them, and that by extension forces their chakra from their bodies and sends the chakra to the roots in that Ten Tails dimension, and thus we see things such as the new Shinju are being harvested in the new chapter. Based on what Kashin Koji stated, this might be the 5th awakened Shinju, but there will be more that follow. However, is this new Shinju Naruto? I don't agree with that, and I don't just disagree. I strongly disagree with that being who it is. The reason being is that it isn't just for one reason for my disagreement. I have several reasons for why I don't think this is Naruto. I said it in the review. I thought it was Shinki, the adopted son of Gar, and I stand by it, and I don't just stand by it. I feel confident enough that I bet every chip I have if this was a game of spades that we're playing, and I think I have a good enough hand that I'm not going to go over the number of books that I'm betting in this game. Starting with the design, Shinki's design, it is very distinct. It stands out amongst all of Ikimoto's characters. He has dark hair, and he has the face paint that we see on his face that covers his eyes and part of his cheeks, likely due to being trained in puppet master techniques by Kankuro. The face paint around his eyes, it extends towards the bridge of his nose, and it stretches upwards towards the corners of his hair. There are two straight lines on each side of the cheek, one that is level with the nose and one that is well below the mouth. This awakened Shinju only has one line visible. The rest of the lower face, including the space on the other side below the mouth, it is covered up. He's got claw marks on the side of his face where the face paint that Shinki would have, and the space around his eyes, it is all part of the same claw mark that is on the side of his face and his cheek, just as Shinki's red paint is all around his eyes, and that paint is all connected together. The other reason is that the last time we saw Shinki in the manga, he was visibly upset that Boruto was the one who went with the Kages to rescue Naruto, and he took the fact that he was being left out as a reason to improve himself and prove his worthiness. The urgency to prove himself and the lack of involvement in his story since then was something that I never thought was by mistake, and given Boruto has used very subtle storytelling before, like the very subtle signs from the moment she made her alliance with Code, there were signs that Ada was going to betray Code. Literally in the first chapter she was unsealed. I think this current chapter dropped a few subtle nods toward the Shinju being Shinki. Where were Kashin Koji and Boruto hiding at during the time skip, and where is their base of operations? It is outside the Land of Wind. The Land of Wind is the country that the Hidden Sand Village is based out of, and that of course is the village that Shinki is from. Orochimaru has tons of hideouts throughout the continent where the Naruto story takes place at. So many that it was impossible for Konoha to properly track him down for over the next decade, and the Akatsuki were unable to find him for the 7 years they were hunting him down, because he had so many hideouts that he changed from hideout to hideout that it became impossible to truly nail him down or zero in on where he might be in terms of a general area. Kashin Koji was written as saying he was using genjutsu to cover his tracks and even keeping the secret entrances hidden from those who might come in pursuit. In the same chapter, Kashin Koji reveals he has the power of seeing future possibilities where the points of the road, they all appear. Depending on what decision is made, it leads to new possibilities, and he himself is able to see all the outcomes on each branch that exists until the events transpire. Then all the other previous paths that he saw, they cease to exist, but Kashin Koji himself is able to retain that knowledge of everything he's seen, and so he's able to make adjustments at the point in time that he is currently at. It's like being on the road, seeing the car in front of you, see all the different directions the car could take, know where each destination would go to, and once the car decides to stick on one road or go the other, you still remember all those other destinations, but you now know where the car is going to be going at currently, and that in turn allows you to make whatever adjustments you need because you have prior knowledge of what's about to happen. Kashin Koji wouldn't be going through the trouble of hiding their location unless he saw something that gave him reason to believe there was someone who stood a chance at finding them in that moment, because Boruto is wanted for the murder of the Hokage. If it was merely about the Shinju, they were not awakened at this point in the timeline, so there will be no need to be using genjutsu in that moment to hide from them, because Koji knows the moment they're supposed to awaken, which means he was hiding from shinobi. It's for that reason I don't think the location being so close to the Sand Village was by mistake, nor was the reveal of Boruto hiding from the Stone Ninja prior to that, because it shows you that people are hunting Boruto, not just Konoha shinobi, and that also includes Shinki, a hidden Sand Village shinobi. And we just happen to know that Matsuri was looking for Boruto's hideout, which is, as we know, near the hidden Sand Village. And Matsuri just happens to return, and there's a new Shinju being awakened. As for the whole Naruto portion, I'll explain why I don't believe it's Naruto and why I feel so strongly that I had the channel artist as on salary meme it on the thumbnail. This isn't Naruto. This isn't Naruto from another timeline. Check out the video that should be published already, going over the 10 directions shinjutsu, which covers how it works, the Buddhism inspiration behind it, and why this is not a multiverse, but again, it is possible outcomes that Kashin Koji sees and has retained knowledge of, but those events don't exist in a parallel universe to this main timeline. They are merely probabilities. So multiverse Naruto showing up here. If you think that, I strongly believe you're making the mistake that Star Wars fans made when Emperor Snoke was about to be revealed. Everyone built something super crazy up in their head and they got disappointed and then they got pissed off. And just gonna say it right up front, I don't think that this is made from Naruto's Kyuubi cloak mode, because even in the Boruto manga design, Naruto has 3 lines that are above his mouth that are closer to his nose. There's no evident sign of that, including the one thick one that you see in the manga. So no, I don't think it's Naruto from another timeline for that reason. The other reason with it being Naruto is that it directly goes against what the narrative has already established about the awakened Shinju. It's too early for you to get a retcon with this. Shinju are made from biting someone. Where is Naruto currently? Naruto is in a dimension where time does not move because time is frozen. The only person who can access that dimension, it is Kawaki via his Kokugan Eye, which can access the Daikokun dimension, which is where Naruto and Hinata are just floating in the air, not aging or feeling hunger or anything. Mentally, they are still stuck where they were when they got sealed away. They don't age. So they are still 33 years old. They're not 36 like they would have been if they never got sealed away. In order for it to be Naruto, one of those claw grinds would have needed to enter into a dimension that Kawaki is connected to and somehow bit Naruto to get his chakra, which Kawaki would have been made aware of because it is his dimension. The other thing that has me briefly pause is the fact that out of all the claw grinds we've seen, there has only ever been one that has a Rinnegan. So that does give me a reason to pause, but Kawaki destroyed it and he showed no reaction that his chakra is being absorbed and drained away, because that is the power of the Rinnegan's Preta Path, and there is nothing in the lore that suggests the Preta Path can drain chakra from another dimension someone is connected to, which is why I feel comfortable using the analogy that if this was a game of spades and we're all playing at the table, I feel confident in the number of books that I'm betting I can get, because I believe I got a pair of smoking aces and a joker up my sleeve. The other thing is that it doesn't make sense for this reason. So Jura was going on this quest to find Naruto Uzumaki. He wanted to consume Naruto Uzumaki because he said it. Naruto was in possession of the chakra of the Nine Tails, and that makes sense to target Naruto. Jura is a part of the 10 Tails, and Naruto wasn't just in possession of the chakra of the Nine Tails, but he also retained chakra in the form of all 9 Biju. Naruto, for all intents and purposes, is a pseudo 10 Tails Jinchuriki. He's still able to use the power of the 9 Biju as he sees fit in combat, at least when he was in possession of Kurama, who was the key and the protector of that sanctuary where the Biju chakra was located at. If he had Naruto's chakra sitting there in that 10 Tails dimension, there wouldn't have been a need to go on this side quest to find Naruto. And then when he learned Himawari had Kurama, to try to eat Himawari to get that chakra. Being blunt, that would be pointless if the chakra was already in that dimension to begin with. You would also have to ask the question, where did Naruto's chakra even come from? At no point was it even hinted that Naruto had ever been bit. There's no suggestion that the claw grimes can enter into that dimension. Otherwise, the awakened Shinju, known as Jura, he would have done that already. There would have been no need to go physically look for Naruto. There was nothing that implied that the chakra from Baryon Mode Naruto, which was used not in a 10 Tails dimension, not in a Ishiki dimension, it was used in Momoshiki's dimension that Boruto transported him to. There's no implication that any of that chakra ended up in the 10 Tails dimension, a place where Momoshiki had never been to in the manga. It does not line up. Taking it a step further, let's go back to the design, the biggest giveaway. On top of Baryon Mode having the line of the black pigment that circles the eye, but it also, most importantly, extends up to the corners of the hair, much like you would see on a fox. The entire head of this new awakened Shinju is one giant giant claw mark belt. The black lines for Baryon mode, they are not thick in the way that the lines on Shinki's face are. The top line that is underneath the face of Baryon mode Naruto, it is a thin line that is not only thinner, it is shorter. And the other two lines, they are also curving upwards and they are above the mouth. This line on this new awakened Shinju, it is thick and it is straight and it is noticeably longer. And if we take Saiya's words from Naruto's manga, that ain't the only thing Naruto comes up a little bit short in. Based on where the collar of the cloak is, you would still see the second line because the second line on the face of Baryon mode Naruto is still above the mouth and it is in line with the nose itself. In fact, none of the lines on the face of Baryon mode Naruto are below the nose. All of those lines, they are even. They are well above the mouth. Even with that collar being shown, you would still see those other lines when you look at this new Ten-Tail Shinju, the same way that Shinki has that one giant line. If it was Baryon mode Naruto, you would see 3 small whiskers in the exact span where that giant strap is. The entire space of that big giant strap would be 3 smaller lines, thin lines curved upwards, versus when you look at Shinki, you have that one giant line and then there's a second line on his face beneath the mouth. We don't see that because the mouth is covered up. Narratively, you have more of a payoff if it is Shinki here based on where his character last ended off at. I get it, we have a bootleg Sasuke in the form of Hidari, but even with Hidari, there are overlaps with his design that make it clear that it's Sasuke. From the cloak to the fact that the hood over his head, it covers up part of his face, and the way that his profile was presented to us, it looked like it was Sasuke. There was almost a one-to-one with it. Matsuri has the claw marks on her head that are for the purposes of forming the hair that we see. The hair, it stretches outwards like it's a horn, versus Moegi's hair, it stretches outwards and it has the appearance of being tied in buns. There is no curve with her. Even with Mamushi, the Shinju that is made up of Bug's chakra, the claw mark that goes around the face matches his goatee that we see in the manga for the sides, and he also has the longer beard. I really don't think this is Naruto. If I'm wrong, I'm not gonna cry about it when the chapter drops and I do the review. I'm not gonna trash review or anything like that. I'm gonna do what I'm doing for what happened in the new JJK chapter 267. No spoilers. I said my piece on Twitter, unhappy with the plot twist, understood that the plot twist was foreshadowed, was not happy with how that did my favorite character in the series, second favorite character in the series, but the review will be completely unbiased because that's what a review should be. Again, I don't think it's Naruto. If it is, it is. But again, my review will be completely unbiased, much like the Boruto chapter review, which is over here on the left. Watch that if you haven't already, or click here to watch this video from my Anime Explained channel where I talk about non-Naruto content.